Julian, now you've had your thing, I expect when I walk past, thank you, Scott. Every time you see me, thank you, Scott. Because I know this is what you wanted, your claim to fame.
Yeah.
But
he's not going to do that, is he?
He's tried with most guests that come in here. Can you mention my name? Can you mention my name?
He's never asked me, actually. Never asked me.
And we're back.
What episode is this?
22.
Are we ignoring something here?
What are we ignoring?
We got a guest. Yay!
Yeah. We like to ignore him.
Oh, why?
Because it's Julian.
That's a lovely introduction that you just did there.
So, just for everybody at home, this is who I call Mr.
They might not be at home.
Yeah. Well, it might be, or in their car.
Why are they watching us in their car?
Oh, my God.
Walk with the dog.
Walk with the dog, isn't it? Walk with
the dog.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, I know what I've done here. I've stuck you both together on one side.
Do you know where I watch your podcasts?
Go on.
When I'm in the bath.
On the bath. I'm on a toilet.
I am in the bath. And I'm relaxing, and I watch your podcast.
There's a naked Julian watching us.
Yeah.
A naked Mr. Iceland.
Yeah, I don't shop at Iceland. Just get that out there.
Oh, did you like your how you managed to get your shout out in the last podcast?
And now he's here. That's what you have to do. If you want us to show you out, then you're a guest next week.
Right, so how has everybody's week been? Obviously, we all know my last week was very stressful. Mm-hmm. My mental health was definitely, in the politest way, messed with. Last week, obviously, life's pushing in certain directions. Obviously, kids are hard work. So, one reason I wanted to bring Julian on, but obviously we've had discussions. We take the mick out of each other quite a lot. So we help each other in our mental health, as in, he's wearing his 70-year-old farmer's shirt today. So obviously we take the mick out of each other, and he tells people, no, Scott's not here. He's not been in for months, or he's on furlough.
Which is true.
Yeah,
that's
you're
about
here,
right.
But in spirit.
In spirit,
we're fine. You got an issue? We'll talk about it.
So talking of issues, tell everybody
about mine.
Yes.
So I took a bit of a journey. So obviously, at the age of 40. I had the opportunity to start my own business with a friend. Mm-hmm. I put my name down for everything, sold my house to start this company in my name and everything, as a director and everything. Moved out to Marbella. I was out there for 3-4 years in total. Everything was lovely. It was the best life I've ever had. It was a struggle to get out there because my wife didn't want to go. She was happy here because of family and things like that. But I just thought, you've got the dream, you've got the dream coming to you. Take it while you can, type of thing. And I thought nothing can go wrong. I didn't think about things that could go wrong. I just thought nothing could go wrong. So we moved out and everything, out to Marbella, and we had a lovely place, lovely little 2-bedroom townhouse with pool, everything. And my friend, who I've known all my life, from up north, he's very good with transport and things like that. So he came across and everything. Business was really, really good. I mean, the worst thing being with COVID, when it first started, we were flat out, moving stuff and everything, face masks, everything. And I was having that life, that life you sort of dream of, that you just think, this can't be true type of thing. You're going out every night for a meal, at a fish restaurant, somewhere down by the sea and things like that. You're working till 2:00 each day, then you're going to the beach or you're in your pool. You go shopping, you got more time with your wife and things like that, and more time's going on. So everything was really, really good. And then being, as I was the main person, the director in that, I started to think, well, I need to get a little bit more involved with the side of it, being the money side and everything. And I started looking at things, and I started seeing money sort of, we used to give ourselves a wage and everything. I have that wage. If you want anything, you go and buy it, type of thing. But if you wanted to go for a meal, we'd put it down as a meeting type of thing. We're going for a meeting.
Is that expenses?
Yeah, as expenses. You can do it nowadays. But I started to see big amounts, like £6,000 and things like that here and there. So I've done some more digging, and I'm not the best at these things, but I sort of took my time having a look. I started watching things. And I noticed that, you know, they were getting new furniture, he and his wife, and things like this. So I had a little chat about it and said, you know, money in the bank is business money. And it doesn't matter, like, you know, we had £100,000+ in the bank because we were doing really, really well. But it's there to make the business run and to make it run better and everything like that. So I started seeing this, had a little chat with him, said you needed to calm down in your spending and things like that. Didn't think no more of it. And we never used to live in the same area. He lived in a different area. I used to drive 20 minutes to the office and things like that. I saw him on a Saturday night. Everything seemed fine. Monday morning was meant to go into the office, which we had. He had one of these shed things in the back of his garden, like a summer house. We worked from there. Went down to his house and it just seemed very empty. There was no cars. So I went in and everything. And the house was empty. Everything was empty. And I thought, something happened, you know, perhaps somebody in Britain's happened, you know, in the UK, family or whatever, they're about to go. He's left me a message. I checked everything. I was locked out of everything. So I started to get a little bit worried. I went back to my wife and explained to her. So I got onto the bank to stop payments, stop cards and everything like that. And within the period of a Friday, from 2 o'clock on a Friday to a Monday morning at 10 a.m., I'd been locked out of a bank, a company bank, which was in my name. I'd set up in my name. I'd done a video call to set that up. But somehow I'd managed to change it, swap it into his name, take all the assets from the business and everything. And so I was left, you know, come this Monday, just a couple of hours later, I was left with £200 for me and my wife, my car, which was on credit because I'd done it. It was a company car and everything. So I'm having to pay. And it wasn't like your cheap car. It was £500 a month type of thing, but the company was paying for it and everything. I was left with nothing. And it started to really set in that I've been done over, you know, and how I couldn't believe it first because you think it's a best friend, someone you've grown up with and someone you've been with. How could they do this? Because I think I'm one of the easiest people to get on with and I'll help anyone out. Anyone comes to me and says to me, I've got an issue and things like that, I'd help them out. I don't like this horrible about any other people or anything like that. I just like to help people out. And it hit. My wife obviously was extremely upset. So I spoke to a couple of friends we had over there and everything, and they basically said they'd heard that they'd moved away, just gone, up and left one night on the Sunday night type of thing, moved everything and gone. Like I said, panic really hit me. I thought, what am I going to do? You know, you're at that age, you know, it's just coming up, you know, started when I was 40. This was my 50th type of thing. And you think, what am I going to do? You know, I'm 50 years old. I've lost everything. So me and my wife packed everything we could into a car, drove back on the money we had, managed to get a ticket back. We drove down through Spain, back down to Calais and then ferry across. And I had to move in with my parents. Now, my parents are older people, obviously, and I think that was one of the first worst things, because being 50 and you move back in your parents and they're set in their ways of everything they do, and there's me and my wife, and it just really hit me that this was it. I was finished type of thing, you know. I'd always brought my kids up and everything to, you know, respect people and things like that, and I've not one for money, even when I had the money. Yes, I'd go out for a meal and things like that, but I still only gave myself a normal wage and things like that, because money can't buy you your happiness. It's about being with people and things like that. And so to lose everything really sent me on a downward spiral. And that spiral didn't stop. It literally hit me so bad that I just went down and down and down to that really dark place. Yeah. And then, of course, you're thinking, I mean, I'm just thinking, you go back to thinking, well, this was my idea. You know, I remember my wife saying, I'm not that keen. And me saying, yes, everything's going to be fine and everything. We'll be fine. We're going to live the life like king and queen type of thing.
And it was fine.
It was, yeah.
And it was fine. That's the funny thing about it. You're like, I'm actually comfortable. I got my friend there, my wife's there, family come out sometimes, chill out, sunshine.
Yeah, it was when that period was there and you were doing it, it was excellent. You know, I felt like I I won the millions, you know what I mean, type of thing, and everything's going well. And the business was good. I felt proud that this business, it was named after me as well, and everything was going really, really well and everything. But to then find that someone you've known for a really long time can do this to you, then you realise that you were never friends. Yeah. But it's that hole that you get down into, because I felt everything was my fault. So I started off first, you know, obviously sleeping, couldn't sleep at all at night time or anything like that. I was sat up every night. I used to just burst into tears. I'd sit there bursting into tears and everything, because I had nothing. You know, we were lucky. My mum put me up for a while. My son put me up for a while. And then my sister, who's very, very good to me and everything, gave me a deposit and some rent for a place to rent where I am now, type of thing. She even bought me a car again, a little Citroen C1 type of thing, you know. So you've gone from, I had this really flash Audi that when I brought back to England, the company come and took it back, type of thing, because I couldn't afford £500 a month then. My money's gone. I've got nothing, type of thing. For the first time in my life, I had to sign on to benefits. And I've never done that. And it's a scary experience when you go out there to try and do that, not knowing how the system works, not knowing everything. It is really, really scary. And then obviously, you know, I became so ill that I did try to take my life. I took medication and everything. And I just whacked a load of pills down and everything and ended up in hospital. With my wife crying at my side saying, don't, you know, whatever happens I'm always here for you and everything like that. But when you feel that you feel it's your fault, you feel that you've done everything. And
you can't escape from that voice inside your head, right?
And people think, oh, easy fix, you know, a bit of medication. It's not an easy fix or anything like that. I mean, 2 years on, I'm still on medication. I don't see myself coming off medication. I still have my worries, you know. Everyone comes to me and they say to me, someone said this morning, I'd like whatever you take because you're so happy. This is my front. This is me. I can be, you know, that Julian everyone wants type of thing. But in here, I'm still that Julian that, you know, has lost everything, has had to start again in everything, and still worries over everything. Money worries me. I've never been one that, like I say, I want loads of money. But bills worry me. Everything worries me. My wife, there's another thing. She works, you know, up near Buckinghamshire way type of thing. If she's not home within that period, I think she's going to be home. I'm worried because I think something's happened. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I'm messaging her. Her phone's connected to a car, and I'm messaging her and things like that. And if I can't get hold of her, and then when she does come in and say, "Oh, I was a bit worried because I thought something might have happened," you know what I mean? It puts you into a state that, yes, you can get on with your day-to-day, and you can get on with your day-to-day, but you learn how to deal with those issues. And those issues are always going to be there, but it's learning how to live with those issues and put them to your back of your mind a bit and everything like that, you know?
Yeah, learning the coping mechanisms is what helped me quite a lot.
That's it, it's the
different
coping.
Little techniques that works for me, because it never I don't think... Like you said, I don't think it's ever going to go away 100%. This is kind of something. It's obviously the fight-flight mode. Yeah, and obviously, I think it's learning to manage that.
It is, and
is what can get you on with your life.
And what I find is it can just be something small, but it can just push you over the edge again. Yeah, and you'll have. And my wife knows when I'm on a downer. She'd always say to me, and I'd say, "No, I'm all good, love." And she knows I'm lying. Yeah. She knows I'm on a downer.
My kids know that as well.
Yeah, and she'd say to me, and then eventually we'd talk about it, and she'd say, "But why haven't you said to me, you know?" And I say, you know, recently we've just moved and everything, and it's been a bit hectic. I managed to do it on my own while my wife was away. I had the worst 4 days of my life. I obviously didn't have work. I'm on my own trying to move. And I felt really, really bad with it all. But every time my wife phoned me, she said, "How you getting on?" I said, "Oh, yeah, excellent, love. You know, I've done this, I've done that." And when she actually came back on the Friday, she was looking after our grandson. And when she came back, I know, you know what wives are like. They like to move stuff around again.
Yeah, make it their own.
Make it their own.
You want it there. Like, it's just that you did it wrong first time.
Yeah, I did, because she said to me, that needs to go and that needs to go. But when she came back, I felt that relief, you know what I mean? She was back.
It wasn't the pressure just on you.
You're not on your own. And, you know, and I would say one of my best things is my dog. My dog kept me going. I got a Sprocker. And I bought her back from Spain. She was being treated really, really badly by someone. She was only 3 months old. She was being kicked and everything. So I paid for her to come back. And when she came back, she was nervous as anything, wouldn't even go near people. But she gave me that thing every day to get up for.
The purpose, right?
Yeah, the purpose. Instead of just sitting there wallowing in my pity, I knew I had something. Without me, that dog's got nothing, you know what I mean? It's got no water, got no walks and things like that. So it gave me that bit to, I've got to get up. I've got to get dressed. I've got to do this, you know what I mean? And eventually you do. I mean, it took me a year. I was off work for nearly 12 months and everything. And I was signed off unfit for work and everything. I had to have all the assessments, you know, things like that and everything. And I tried a job. I felt to myself, I need to get back out there. So I applied for a job, all done online. My first day came, and it was working for a company, and there was quite a few people in an office. My first day came, I managed half an hour before I walked out, and I found I don't like being in very big crowds anymore. When there's like 20, 30 people in a room, I don't like being that person because I felt everyone was looking at me and saying, that's that idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the voice in your head.
Yeah, the voice in my head
right?
is telling me that everyone knows what's happened. Everyone knows I'm a failure, because that's how you feel, a failure. And I still do to this day. I will always feel a bit of a failure because I took the chance to try and make our life better. You know, we lost all our savings. We lost our house. We lost everything. I rent now, but I've got no savings. You know, I'm 52. Luckily, I've got some pensions from when I was working before somewhere and some private pensions, but that extra bit you have for your rainy day, that went. We've started again putting a bit by. It's going to take longer than what I've got left to get us back to where we were. But I'm happy. The one thing I can say is now, I look back and I think, yeah, I had a wonderful life. But coming back to your family and people like that do care about you and are there for you and things like that, I could honestly say, if you said to me now, I'll give you so much money to go back to Marbella or you stay here, I'd stay here because I feel happier in myself. You're
finding the new you, right?
Yeah, I am. And it's like with this job. I've made so many friends with this job in this building and everything. Everyone knows me as a bit of a joker and things like that. And I like that. I like it that no one's there, you know, everyone comes and talks to me. Everyone's nice to me and things like that, you know, and I can have that relationship with them, a joke, and that helps with it as well. You know, I know you with your issues, and we always cracking each other up and things like that, and doing things.
Taking the well,
yeah,
in a polite way, take the piss out of each other.
Yeah,
well, you kind of have to.
Yeah, but I knew I purposely this morning, obviously going through mental health problems and bits and pieces, I knew I could mess with him a little bit, as in I mentioned his shirt first thing this morning. Yeah. How many people have you asked today about your shirt?
I've spent about 45 minutes with clients. I was just outside with a client. I said, is there an issue with my shirt? To the young lady, I said, is there an issue with my shirt? And she goes, no. Well, she said, it looks like a farmer's one. I said, does it make me look like I'm 72? And she said, no. I said, Scott's running around telling me every time he sees me, oh my God, you're doing a podcast today and you've got a shirt on that makes you look like you're 72.
You should give him a Berkshire Channel.
Mate,
I've got a Berkshire Channel.
Oh, there you go. He's got the stuff.
Oh, he's got all the gear.
I don't have any, by the way. I just want to say that.
You help yourself here, mate.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
yeah.
So, but what we do, obviously, if you can, like Friday, perfect example, he messed with me. And he got me good. Yeah. He really did get me good. And it's not until so when you're having a down day and bits and pieces, at that specific time, if you just laughing sometimes, and obviously we do rip, like I do take the mick out of him.
I think it's your go-to though, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think it's like you said, that shield.
Yeah.
Obviously I've gone through bankruptcy, I lost everything. Yeah. And it is like a downward spiral, and you can't physically get away from your own inner thought.
No. It's always there.
And that dark place. Yeah. And I call it the worst part of any mental. When you get stuck in that dark place, it's not even like you can see a pin of light to try and, that's the direction I need to go in. There is nothing. And obviously surrounding myself with certain people. This is like you said, you learn who your friends are, who your family are, who you can rely on.
It will surprise you as well who will come to your help sometimes.
And I was very shocked.
You're like, the ones that you care about the most, they like avoid you like the plague, and the ones that you thought, whatever, they're like, what, do you want to help?
I'm very picky on friends. I don't have friends. So I can honestly say I
Is that a reason from what happened? Now you have this trust.
I'm scared to trust people again. I'm scared to get taken in, type of thing. So I have acquaintances. I've got no one. I've lived in this area now for a couple of years. I got no one I can say, "Do you want to go out for a drink with?"
Would you want to though?
I'll be honest with you. I like to spend all my time with my wife. My wife is my best friend as well as my wife and everything. She is perfect, and she looked after me really, really well. And she's been there for me all the time. When I was off for that period, she was going out working all hours under the sun just to get us some money in, type of thing. And she was doing everything, and she was just as upset and everything, but she put that brave face on to look after me and say everything's going to be all right and everything. So if people ask me, do you want to come out for a drink? I'd say, yeah, as long as you don't mind my wife coming.
Of course.
Because I'd like, I wouldn't mind, it's like some friends, I'd like someone to say to me, I wouldn't mind someone saying, do you want to come out for a meal? There's 4 of us type of thing, go out for a nice chat and a meal. Mm. I don't drink alcohol at all or anything, but I still wouldn't mind a nice meal's nice out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Coke, something
the
like
circumstances.
That. Yeah.
So, but do you know how jealous I am that you have, obviously when I was in my dark time, your wife stood by your side. That's your rock, basically.
Yeah,
right?
she was.
And that was one of your coping mechanisms.
And
obviously, I never had that rock, if you understand.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Not that it makes it any better or any worse, but I am jealous for what you've got. And I think that's when people realise, and obviously looking around, then like I could tell you what my rock was now.
Yeah.
Obviously at the time, I didn't know. And obviously the thing that gets me up each day, like you've got your dog, your wife is your strength, the person that's hold you. But knowing what I've known of you in the last 12 months, I know if it was the other way round, you would do exactly the same as what your wife, and that's the bit I'm jealous about.
Literally, I'm just trying so hard not to fucking cry. Like, just hearing your story and knowing stuff about you, and obviously I know so much about you and stuff like that, to have someone in your life that is the biggest support and kind of was there for you as much as you would be there for them and stuff like that, and then you built into routine, and then when it all went wrong, one of the questions I was going to ask, and feel free to not answer this question.
No.
If you saw your old friend now, apart from wanting to probably kill them, what would you ask them?
I don't think I could even speak to him. I recently, a little while ago, went back to Spain, where we were living, because when we left, we literally just grabbed some bits. I'd left paperwork there, marriage certificates, birth certificates, things like that. And I went back to pick those up and everything off a friend over there. And I was this was the first time travelling on my own again to the airport on a plane and everything, because my wife couldn't get the time off. I was so nervous that I was going to bump into him because I was the same area. And I thought, I know it's a big place, but I thought, I'm going to see him, you know what I mean? And what am I going to do when I see him, things like that. And I thought...
what you'd want to do.
I know what, inside you get those feelings. God, I want to... my kids have said the same, my boys. They're very good and everything. Said, what they want to do type of thing. But I just think my view of it now is that I've got to that stage now that, it's something's going to happen in life and you'll get your comeuppance. Type of thing.
Let karma take it over.
Yeah, karma's going to sort you out and things like that. Yes, I've lost everything. They've got young kids and things like that. I don't put it onto anyone to lose everything. But the business name's still going, obviously, and it's my name type of thing. That business name's still out there, but I've got no control of that at all or anything.
So he literally is taking everything.
Everything.
And there's nothing you can do.
Nothing I can do. I spoke to... so I got in contact with the bank as soon as I got back to England and everything. They wouldn't even speak to me because it had been turned over. And I said, but I opened the account. I said, I'd done it on video and everything.
Is this a Spanish bank?
No, it's an English bank.
I just don't understand. Like, I had a joint bank account with my ex. Like, there's no way that we could have closed it or changed it.
No, I can... with what he's saying...
that's so crazy.
I had 2 mobile phone numbers, and Vodafone have now realised, after I've been arguing, they've been charging me for a second phone. I was like, well, hang on. You allowed, and I'm going to put this out there, my ex-wife, my wife at the time, when we were splitting up, to pretend to be me on the, the chatbot thing, and you handed my number over, gave her, is it the pack number or whatever they needed to go to?
Yeah.
But they know it's a thing,
and the funny
but they won't do nothing about
it. With your situations, there's just always going to be crossovers, which you would have trust. You would have trust your ex, you would have trust your old friend. I mean, What advice would you give to anyone moving forward? Because in the sense, like, you'd be like, don't trust anyone. But is that what would you give advice to yourself?
To myself now, if I could look at it again, you know, spend a bit more time searching things out and doing things right. Doesn't matter, you know, you trust your friends, and you do trust your friends. You think your friends are going to always be there for you,
and they probably will be.
And they probably will be. And you just get that odd one that, you know, obviously money is a big thing to him, and it's turned into a really big thing, because when that day when it all went kaput, when I found out the bank had changed and everything, actually in the bank, business money itself was around about £230,000 free floating cash, which was business money. We'd paid wages, we'd paid everything, so that was like our business money type of thing. So my thing to somebody else is, look into it, but take that bit of time. You know, chat with who you're going to do it with, get it all in writing and everything. I probably made some mistakes because, you know, he was good in transport and things like that. And I said, oh, look, come across work for me type of thing. Because I was still working at the time here in the UK and everything, I literally gave him some control.
Which you would. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, because I trust him. I literally, you know, here's the bank details, here's your card, here's everything to do with the clients and things like that. I had a company in Oxfordshire that used to do our payments. So they chase anybody who's a late payment, they chase those payments so it wouldn't affect me. They do it. So they take the hassle off it. They pay you what money you're owed, and then they take a small percentage type of thing. I had to go to that place when I set the business up, to go to there, sign paperwork and everything. When I come back and I go to speak to him, they wouldn't even speak to me. And I said, but I'm Julian Taylor. I'm the one who has signed that paperwork and everything, you know. I was the one that signed it. But by that time, he changed it over to his name. And he changed everything over. They wouldn't talk to me at all or anything. So I got to the stage that in the end, you have to say, right, do I persevere with this? Make myself really unhappy and still bad.
Probably get
what's really more important, money or mental health? That's where you end up in health.
And that's why, I had to turn around and say no. And then people say to me now, did you get nothing? Can't you do anything? I probably could have if I'd persevered and things like that, but it was affecting me so bad that I just said, no, enough's enough. You know, I'm not on the head. I'm not going to get it back. It's not going to happen. I know he's still out in the regions of Spain somewhere, probably living the high life and everything. Good luck to him type of thing.
But at the same time, at the back, you might not think he cares, but at the same time, in the back of his head, he's got to know what he's done.
Yeah. I had a missed call from him once on my phone.
Did you really?
Yeah. That was about 6 months ago. There was a missed call from him, and I just saw it was his number, and I blocked it. Because I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to feel... Because, I'll be honest with you, I'm so easy to get back. I'll forgive anyone for doing anything. Honestly, I will. I'm a forgiving type.
On that subject, right? You blocked the number, I get it. Obviously, mental health, bits and pieces. What do you reckon his mental health is right now? Going through what he's done,
I feel like those people don't give a shit.
Yeah, I
feel like they don't
agree with that. That he doesn't give a shit as much. They don't care. They don't care what they've done to somebody else. They're living the high life.
If it happened to them, they would care. But it didn't happen to them.
It didn't happen to them.
So they don't care.
You know, he's walked away. So he's a guy just like me, you, or anyone, right, type of thing. And yes, we had a good business. It was all transport and everything. So he's walked away. That business is still going. I still follow that business because I see what's going on and things like that. That business is still going, and it's still going strong and everything. He's doing well. He's getting that money in, but also he took that money off me and things like that. You know, if he came back to me now, if he phoned me or he got in contact with me and said, Jules, I feel really, really bad that we had 230,000 in the bank. He can send you £100,000. I don't want it, because having that money back is going to open up old wounds of where I've been, and it's taken that period to get away from it. And I'm still not away from it, but I don't want to go back down, like you say, to that big black hole, because I think this time I'm going to struggle to climb that ladder to get out, type of thing. I've had the support here this time, and I've had my wife and everything, and I know she'd be there for me this time again. If anything happens, she's there now all the time. But I don't want to put it on anyone. I just want to be able to deal with things myself now. And you know, I'm 52. I need to act my age and be that person that I should be, type of thing. Yes, I've made a mistake in my life. I know it wasn't my fault, but I have to look at the other side of it now, and I do. You know, like I say, medication does help me still and everything like that. I still have my times when I'm feeling down and really like that. But like I said with you, we have a muck around. Things like that. When I come in here and I have a joke around with you, I have a joke around with the girls upstairs, joke around with anyone, that's a boost because you feel good. You are feeling good and you're having a laugh, you know what I mean? And you're thinking, you know, I'm not that person that was so weak or things like that. You know, I am a nice guy because you do feel that you're not a nice person.
Yep.
And that is the other thing. You do feel that you're really, really bad. I mean, do you know what's bad for me? At the age of 50, so I came back to England that night. My mum was waiting for me, and she's crying her eyes out and everything to see me. I cried my eyes out because I hadn't seen them for a long time, and everything had gone back. But they were there. You know, your mum and dad were there. And I take my hat off to my mum and dad, saying you can come and stay here and things like that. But I don't think that bit done me any good because my mum and dad are set in their ways. So they sit at a little table, eat their meals, you know, and things like that.
At a certain time.
Yeah,
and stuff
certain
like that.
times.
Yeah,
You know, they have the telly on, but they're not watching it. They're fast asleep, but you can't turn over and things like that. So, you know, so I ended up finding I was just sat there. And me and Misha were sat there and we were using their spare room and everything. And, you know, then we moved to my son's and we stayed at my son's. He lived in a 1-bedroom flat. We bought ourselves an electric airbed every night. We'd blow up, put out into his living room. We'd sleep there until we got going. But I felt better there with my son and his partner type of thing than being with my parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously it went a bit wrong for me. I had to go back to my mum.
Yeah.
And then you think to yourself, like I used to look at myself in the mirror and go, what the hell have I done? How have you allowed, if you had said to me 2 years before that you'd be stood back here looking in the mirror when you left home at 16 years of age, back at 40 with 4 kids, going through a divorce, lost all your money, gone bankrupt, mental health problems, you'd be like, no, what are you talking about? That's not possible. And the friends that were friends have just disappeared.
Yeah.
As soon as my money went and bits and pieces,
that's totally it.
It disappeared. And then certain friends have stepped up that were what I thought were, like you said, acquaintances.
Yeah.
They've stepped up and you're like, wow, I never, like when I was in my dark time, they would check on me. And it would be people that I least expected. But like friends that I would have said like real good friends I went to school with.
They're nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere, literally. Like, even certain members of my own family.
Yeah.
And like I've had members of my own family go, you're selfish, you're this, you're that. I was like, what do you mean? Well, you tried to kill yourself. Yeah, it wasn't a case of kill yourself that you don't want to be here tomorrow.
No.
In that dark place for me, I don't know.
Want it to stop.
You just need it to stop.
You just want it to stop. You need that
and
in your head.
And the only one thing to make it stop
is not
is
being
that.
there.
It's not. It's just like you want to reset the game and start again, or switch it off and switch it back on when you're ready. That's the only time.
Because you get to that level, you know, it's exactly the same level, and you get to that, you just want it to stop. You think there's no way out of it.
Yeah.
And you think everyone else will be better off without you.
Yeah.
And that was my big thing. And I was being selfish.
That you're a burden, right?
Yeah,
and
I was selfish. My wife had a right go at me and everything. And I totally realised and everything, I was selfish and everything like that. Because why should I leave everything with her? Why should I leave all that history, all those
Because she doesn't
problems?
just have that history. She then has that as well.
That
She's
as
also,
well.
I see it as a continuing the cycle, right?
Yeah, of course it is. A domino effect.
Because obviously then your kids have,
that's right.
They get it.
And you know, it's like I said, you know, my wife is my best friend. She calls me twice a day. Every day she calls me twice a day. We have a video conference type of thing. She was away. She went and looked after the grandson up in Bristol while I moved and everything. All the time I'm on the phone to her type of thing. My wife is my best friend. And I love my wife. How big love was, my love for my wife is that we've been together 30 years, just coming 30 years. And she has been there for me and everything. And when you get someone like that, that person, you know, that is your soulmate. That is the person you were meant to have been with type of thing. And we do the same silly things. You know, recently, I've got a picture on my phone, but recently, so it's been hot, obviously. So we go home, we get a flannel, we make it really cold, we put it in the freezer, right? Then, half hour later, when it's gone a bit crispy, we sit there and we've got it on our head each. And we take a photo and we send it to our kids, right? Because kids don't like something like that, so we wind them up. Anyway, last night we sat there, so we're both sat there with these dripping flannels, getting cold. Somebody's tapping on our window. looking at us, a neighbour across the way. I turned around with this flannel on, just like this type of thing. My wife had quickly whipped her off as well. But we had our son staying, and he's only 25, and we made him do it as well. And we took a photo.
You didn't make him do it. I feel like he wanted to do it. Okay.
And we said it to the family, but it's those silly little things. And like, we spend a lot of time with it. It's just me and my wife. But I'd rather go out with my wife. She is someone that's been there for me, and I hate being away from her. I honestly do hate being away from her and things like that. We might be in the same room and you might not talk. You might be watching programs. You might not talk, but that person's there with you, type of thing. And that feeling
just
is
even
there.
Even when she was away, by knowing that kept you calm, right?
Well,
and that's the bit I'm jealous about.
She was very concerned about going away. She said, "Can she go to look after the grandson?" I said, "Yeah." I didn't go because we got the dog, and I didn't want to take the dog because of the young baby and everything. So I said, I look after the dog. I'll take the time off and I'll do the moving. But she every day, are you feeling all right? Are you feeling all right? And yeah, I felt bad some of the days. I was down a little bit, but I got on with the things to do it. But just hearing her voice when I heard it, it was better,
Yeah.
And like now, like I say, she's marvelous. She's really is good. The thing with my wife is she gets on so well with my parents and everything. My wife had a tough upbringing. She got literally parents left her to it at the age of 15, and she doesn't see her parents or anything. And my parents are really good to her. And my sisters, they spends a lot of time with her, but I feel there's that bond between us, and that bond can't be broken.
That's your safety net, right?
Yeah, it is. She's
it's
my
a
safety net.
Yeah.
And it's the best thing.
Right. So obviously you've watched our other podcast, right?
Yes, I have. Yeah, in the bath.
In the bath. Naked Julian.
Naked.
So obviously, you met Kai, right?
Oh, Kai, yeah. Because
Kai's been there nice and quietly.
Yeah.
Watching.
Listening.
Whereas
can I quickly ask you a question, Kai, on this one? So the situation, like, how old are you now?
I'm 20.
Yeah, so you're 20, okay? So say, in a sense, like, you hear stories like this and you hear stuff going on. Do your friends, in any sense, come to you and talk to you about their feelings, or vice versa?
I've got friends who obviously they go through stuff. Not all of it is, as you could say, quite as deep as what you've been through.
Yeah.
But to them personally, it is. And a lot of them go to each other. I try to help in the best way that I can, but a lot of them at the moment, they've known each other. They've been closer to each other where I've been away at uni or I've been working or whatever. But they tend to talk to each other more about it. I do get looped in eventually, and I do my best to help them out with it. And yeah, they do come to each other and they do come to me and talk about stuff. If anything, I'm probably the one in the group that doesn't go to them about it. I'm quite a bottled up person.
So you don't have a person you're going to say, hey, this is what's happening this time, or I'm struggling at this?
Yeah, I do in a sense, but 9 times out of 10, I'll just be like, yeah, this is my own thing. I can deal with it my own way.
Which is never true.
Do you reckon that's a young thing?
Yeah,
I do.
100%.
I think a young thing, they think you can deal with everything that's going on.
Until you can't.
Yeah. My thing is speak to someone.
Yeah.
Whoever it is, if it's a friend, anyone you can get to, just talk to them. Because what I say about the problem shared and everything, and just getting out. And I always think that when you talk about it, it's like now, right? Talking about this, and like you said, when you hear about my wife, makes you a bit emotional. Did me a little bit just now when we spoke about my wife. I thought I'm going to tear up a bit type of thing. You know
Julian,
what I mean? No, I wouldn't.
Mate.
But you need to talk to someone because everything changes. Your feelings changes, right? I used to laugh at people, when you used to watch a program or a film and you cry, type of thing. I cry like a sissy. Honestly, I do. There's a film out there called Hachi about a dog, a Richard Gere film, right? Really, really true story about this Japanese dog. I cry every time. I've watched it 10 times. I can sit there and cry. And you know what? Sometimes I put it on just to have a cry.
I was about to say,
it
do you reckon
gets you
crying
out
helps?
there.
Yeah, it gives you
It does, I do.
Oh,
Crying
yeah.
helps.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah, it depends where you want to. I don't know if you want to be crying in front of your friends and your family all the time.
No.
But to yourself,
but as in,
I think
for
it's
me,
fine.
with like my ex-wife, obviously towards the end of our relationship, in 20 years, she'd never seen me cry.
But I don't think that's healthy then. Like, I want to see emotions from my friends, my partner, my family, because I'll be like, oh, I know how to make you feel better. If I never see it, I don't know what the hell to do to when that happens, apart from like make it about me. Like, is something I done?
I genuinely don't know how to cry. Genuinely, hands on heart. That I genuinely.
What was that? What made you cry last time?
Literally, I was literally so far going into that dark hole. If I'm brutally honest, I was scared. Scared that I was losing myself. But obviously it left me with a bit of a bad taste in my mouth, because the one time that I did show emotion, it got thrown back on my face.
Yeah, well, you've put it on type of thing.
There you go.
Yeah, and obviously because
why would you show
I
emotions
created
to those
such
people?
an image about myself that, you know, you're this tough man, you could do this, there's nothing to stop you. The one time, and like I've had this discussion with my daughter in bits and pieces. That's why I'm so jealous. Like my daughter says, Dad, you can cry with me if you got that.
I think you now put a thing up, a front up, because that time when you did have that emotion, and it was thrown back at you, like, oh, you know, that's fake, or things like that, or whatever. You've now put that in place, like that shield. Well,
it's
I'm
like
not
your
gonna
brain,
cry.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to cry. Honestly, I get so soppy now and everything, and also it's like helping people and everything. Anyone could come to me and talk to me, and I would help someone out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. You know, my wife used to manage homes for people with dementia and things like that. I dressed up one Christmas in a deer outfit with a Santa blow-up thing on my back to go and give presents out to these people. I've never done things like that before, but you start to see things in different light. You think, hang on a minute, you know, we've all been there, and you think, oh, I don't want to know what their issue is, you know, I don't want to know. I do want to know, because if I can help you, I'll try and help you.
It helps me.
And
with
even
my own.
by having a chat.
I've always said that. Just talking to people.
Just talk to anyone. I just think, don't bottle it up. The worst thing is everyone bottles it up and things like that. And you think, and like Kai said, you know, they think, well, you know, oh, I can deal with it. You can't.
At a young age, I think people, obviously, I remember being, I know it was quite a long time ago before somebody points that out,
I wasn't going to say anything.
like his age, thinking,
1968.
That wasn't me.
but do you like worry about the future right now, in the sense of really worry about the future?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, because you don't know what's going to happen. Like, especially, I remember like obviously I've had situations. I've told you about situations where where I've had stuff affect me in terms of like work related stuff, and I've gone to my friends about that. And if it wasn't for the fact that I could go to them for something like that, I wouldn't. I panicked. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like, I was in a situation where I attempted doing something, and it didn't end up how I wanted it to. After that, I didn't really know what to do until one of my mates and eventually the rest of them backed him on it. They said, "Well, why don't you go to university?" So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll apply, because, you know, there's, at the time I was thinking, right, I want to do this, I want to make this a profession, what I'm doing now, editing and that, but there's always more I can learn, and if I choose to self-teach myself, there's only so far I can teach myself. So obviously I decided to go to uni, and, well, here I am now, so...
Yeah, you took the chance though. You went for it, and you took that worry with you, and you thought, no, I'm going to succeed, and you have.
Yeah.
And there's so much more to come. Anyway, yes, next bit. Let's go. You pressing buttons?
Yeah.
Go on then.
1 or 2, Julian. We'll let you have the right to this one.
I'll have number 2, please.
Hot topics. That just sounds like when you were saying you can I have a vowel and a consonant?
So, what is the hot topics today then?
Yes. We've got 2 hot topics today. Would you like number 1 or 2 first, Julian?
I'll have number 1 first. Number 1.
So obviously, the UK this week has been actually a lot colder than usual.
Yeah.
No, it's been ridiculously hot, reaching record temperatures, and loads of people across the UK have been affected. There have been schools closing down, people have left work early. There have even been a few fires in certain parts of the UK. So how has the heat affected you guys this week?
Well,
we already heard about the flannels. So
yeah,
well, we know what Julian's been doing there.
Being diabetic, I have to be careful with the heat and everything, because it can bring your bloods down and everything, and so you need to be drinking more. So I've found I'm drinking a lot more this week, bottles of water every time. My wife's been making sure I do. So it affects you in that way. You've got to keep an eye, because I test my blood about 3 times a week type of thing.
You're type 2, right?
Type 2. So I'm type 2 and got a feeling I'll be type 1 in about 2 weeks' time. Mine isn't an overweight issue or anything like that. Mine runs in the family. It's my granddad had diabetes, ended up having both his legs off. My mum's diabetic, she's type 1. My sister's diabetic. My nephew, he's 7, he's got a pump fitted already.
Yep.
And everything like that. So it's a family thing, mine is. But I've managed to stay on 2 by taking different types of medication. But I'm at I take 1,000 milligrams of metformin in this weather in the morning and in the evening, plus 2 mixers to make it enough for me. And my blood still sits around about 12. The blood should be between 4 and 8 type of thing.
Yeah, my ex-wife, she was type 1.
Yeah.
And obviously, 12.
Yeah, I'm sitting about 12.
So were you running at 12 then?
Pardon?
Is that your your
I can't seem to get out of 12.
So if you go below 12, then you start to feel a bit low,
I
right?
literally, once I did, when I first had it, I passed out. And it's true what people say about you. I collapsed in a street. And it's like you're drunk. And it is like you're drunk. And you have slurred speech. And I laugh about it now because I remember a guy coming to me. It was where I used to live in Andover. And a guy walked past me and he said, "Do you need any help?" And I managed to sort of go, "Oh, there's a chocolate," type of thing, And he said, "Oh, I'll go to the shop." Because there was a shop just across the way. He said, "I'll get a bit of chocolate." That, you just need something to boost you,
Yeah, just to bring it back.
He didn't come back. Then I don't blame him. Shall I tell you why he didn't come back? I was dressed in Wellington boots, a green cap, because at that time I was working for a salad company. So
You
I
were wearing other clothes, by the way.
Yeah, I must have looked like Compo or something on the floor there, So, but I was very lucky. My
That's
wife
the last of the summer wines kind of reference there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Last of the summer, that's before my time. Scott, is that last of the summer wine?
I don't know. Compo? I don't know. With Nora.
Oh, hang on.
Nora Batty.
Nora Batty. Yeah.
That's
It's the same program.
same
I'm gonna have a look.
programme, yeah.
Let's have a look. Go on.
So,
go on.
obviously,
what were you doing?
the heat, you being diabetic,
Yeah.
because
You being bald. Sorry, I didn't get that in there.
What are you laughing? Oh my God. Do you know that's actually now calling, obviously my kids call it me regularly just because they now know, right, saying, "Oi, baldy,"
Yeah.
bits and pieces is sexual harassment.
And no, it's not sexual harassment.
How can
It's
that
got to
be
be. It's got to be harassment.
Is it?
It's got to be
No.
harassment, not
Yeah.
sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment, that's a bit like me going
No,
up
if
to
I
a
went,
woman
"Oi,
and
oi,
saying,
baldy,"
"All right, big tits."
that is not the
Yeah,
same.
but that's
Why not?
different.
That is
because
not the
that's
same.
that's part of
No,
the anatomy.
generally-
No, because these
Even my kids don't believe it.
No, boobs.
Come on, my little
boobs,
fat chicken.
boobs are sexual organs.
look,
Head is not.
I can't say if it's sexual harassment or not. I know it's harassment. At the
Yeah,
very
not
least. It
sexual,
might
is
be
it?
sexual harassment.
Well, what's sexual about saying, 'cause
I mean, if
I can understand if
you
it was
find,
the other
if
one.
you find bold people really attractive,
Well-
it could be sexual harassment.
And there could be a tone you could
Yeah.
be doing.
Yeah.
There could be a tone. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
oi, baldy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey.
Hey.
That's a bit much.
Apparently, I'm just saying what I've heard.
Well, what if I call you a bald twat? That's not sexual harassment. that's just harassment, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, I don't agree with that. What if he turned around and said, "You got your head on upside down"? What about that? Yeah,
But can I just say, at the same time, Scott, you wear it really well. You have
Yeah.
a good shaped head, and
Do you
you
reckon
have
I'd
lovely
suit
eyes.
her?
No,
And this heat would kill me off.
dreadlocks.
I know. I thought a big afro.
Yeah,
Like a
God,
fluffy
I think
afro.
you should get
I
one.
used to have a
What afro?
Please
No,
tell
I
us.
used to have a ponytail. So obviously used to have it all shaved on the side and a ponytail. Yeah, my hair used to be about down there.
Oh my
That's-
god!
And at
that's
16,
Yeah.
I lost that losing my hair.
16.
Yeah. So I was going to go bald no matter what.
It's all that testosterone
Yeah.
for your body. Ugh.
You must suffer a bit, in this weather. No joke apart. I'm not taking the mickey or anything like that. But because you don't have hair on the top of your head, you're feeling
Yeah,
that
burn
heat straight
easy.
on it, burning easy.
Yeah,
aren't you?
yeah, it burns
Type
easy.
of
Like,
thing.
so sunstroke, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, the sweat runs into your face. So obviously, in the heat with what we've got. So obviously, over periods of time, over the years, so like where you would burn quicker, my head's obviously got used to it. It's like weathered or whatever the word is.
Yeah.
Weathered in. But obviously, like extreme heat yesterday, I couldn't have it. I'd have to wear a hat or something. If I was going to be out longer or put like what you do, a flannel on your head or something. But obviously, nah.
But if someone said to you now, right, you can have that one wish, you can have a full head of hair, stay as you are.
Nah. I've been bald longer than I ever had
Yeah,
hair.
you're Scott. This is you. You know,
I couldn't.
cheaper as
You know,
well.
like you get the wigs
Yeah.
and bits and pieces. You
Yeah.
put them on. Oh my god! I don't understand how people have hair.
have you been putting wigs on then?
Yeah.
Is this some sort of fetish you've got?
He's got his own TikTok channel.
Yeah.
Have you not seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, very clever.
I like that.
No, it was for a children's thing.
Yeah, whatever.
I
So
understand.
obviously the heat out there. So what do you?
It's karma today. Yeah, I actually planned ahead. So I went like to a lake and chilled out there, and then went to the cinema, chilled out in the car. Sometimes got aircon in the car. We might not have it in our houses, so I do in my car. So I chilled in the car for a little while, which was quite nice. Yeah, and tried to just. And then you have to have that balance of like keeping blinds open in your house or shut and keeping the heat out. Don't keep your windows open because that actually makes it worse.
Everyone thinks by opening a window, right?
No, it's worse.
Yeah.
But that was literally like my daughter yesterday. So on the weather forecast, she's like, "It's supposed to be raining at 6 days." So she was literally there.
Waiting.
You're making us make her sound like she's like 2 or 3. No, she's 17. She's waiting. She obviously was just. It was so hot.
And it did
yesterday.
rain. It did rain.
Yeah. There was a little
2
bit.
hours later, and it was literally, she was like, "Dad, it's raining." So we legged it outside. Right. Oh, was that it? It literally rained for about 30 seconds.
It didn't rain for long. It was
And
quite
then-
heavy.
And then literally
stopped.
said, "Right, we just go down the shop."
It's raining today.
Oh no, literally before
Yeah,
the heavy
later on.
bit,
Yeah, heavy rain as well.
it was
Heavy
literally
rain,
like
we need it.
must have hit half the garden, stopped,
Yeah.
and we're like, "Oh,
But it's that different heat, isn't it? I think
That
where
was
we are
crazy
here,
heat.
it's a different heat. You know, if you had that heat when you're on holiday, you deal with it.
Oh,
You're on
but
holiday,
you got a
jump in
pool
a
next
pool,
to you.
yeah.
Well, this is what
Exactly.
everyone
On the
says, right?
beach or whatever.
The heat
Yeah.
abroad's different." No, what's different is
It's your surroundings.
the air
Aircon.
conditioning's built
Yeah.
into the buildings, and there's a swimming pool.
It's cold here.
You got aircon here?
It's like a fridge this morning.
It was
Yeah.
cold when I
It
walked
was like
out.
getting off a
I've
plane.
turned it down a bit. I was a bit hot.
So we had it at 16 yesterday, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
So you'd walk out of here. You know when you get off a plane and that wallop from the heat, literally you'd
Yeah.
walk out that front door. So obviously that didn't do my mental health
Well,
any
it
good.
actually hasn't done the aircon unit any good either
I can
because it's now
imagine it
broken
hasn't.
down
Yeah. I can
upstairs.
You
Yeah, no,
literally
seriously, it's broken. I
Oh,
had
you
to
had
have
it
a
full
guy out
bore?
this morning. And because of yesterday, and I had it on, and it was full bore for the whole building, top half is one run out of refrigerant and everything, so the gases and everything, and it's sprung a leak. So that's got to
So
stay off. So people upstairs
That's the
today,
top floor lot we don't.
downstairs we're fine.
Downstairs people obviously watching. We're still cool. Upstairs
Yeah.
people.
Sorry, upstairs people.
No,
For once.
they
For
keep
once.
nicking all the
Yeah.
cups.
Yeah.
Messing with people when you go to get a cup. You go upstairs. There's 50 million of them upstairs. What the hell's going on there? Right. So topic number 2.
What's going on?
So, a UK ticket holder has scooped a record jackpot of has scooped a record jackpot of 195 million.
He couldn't believe it when he read it first time, could he? He was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
was that right? 191?
195 million.
195. Sorry, Mr. 4 million.
Yeah, I won the lottery as well last night.
But you're not that, unless you're going
What
to
did you
literally
win?
give us all money
No.
and tell us now. Like,
£10?
you get a car, you get a car.
Yeah.
Well, I've got enough to put it on for this Euros Millions since
So
Friday
you-
when I won
you-
£2.70.
Yay.
That's £2.50 to be in the next one. So in theory, I'm 20p up, right?
Does anyone not think, though, with amounts like that, you know, that's a ridiculous amount of money, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, ridiculous.
That's more than life changing.
I think, yeah, it's more than life change. But I also think, I know one person's just won that, but they should do it. They should set a limit and things like that separate more so there's more winners at the time. Because that's a ridiculous amount. What are you going to do with 195 million?
It's impossible for it to separate
Yeah.
winners, though, because it's
Yeah.
the numbers, isn't it? So unless you're going to, I don't
What
know.
would I do with 195
Mate,
million?
it's just a stupid amount of money. You might as well just say, what would you do with money? You know what I mean? Like, it's too
you
much.
couldn't, unless you went out and bought a yacht for like 200 million, you couldn't spend it.
No.
Because if you just lived off the interest alone, of before it went to the compound interest and all that sort of stuff, it's on average. So if you put £1 million in each bank without the compound, it's about 40 grand a year interest. So obviously, imagine all
It's a good
that you
wage.
put that. You're talking about probably what between 10 and 20 million a year interest.
Do you know what I'd like if I won it?
What would you like?
World peace.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, I thought I was on
that's quite nice.
Miss World then or something, you know.
So, my question is, obviously, world peace is an amazing answer. But if you could spend the money selfishly on yourself, no one has a go at you. You know, you've already
The one thing you'd buy.
everyone said there's no obligation for you to give it to friends, give it to family. no, buying a house that your family can move into, not buying a bigger car unless it's for yourself. What is the one thing that you yourself, just for you to use, what would you buy? What would you do?
Kai, I want you to give an
I already
example.
know mine.
Do you know yours already?
Yeah, I've known since I was probably about 11 when I
have no
about 11, 12
clue.
around that age.
Go on then.
A Lamborghini Diablo S, and you're saying car. I wouldn't drive it. It wouldn't be allowed to be driven.
Why? What's the point of having it?
Because I want a Lamb. No. Oh,
You've got
yeah, probably. I
191
suppose you
million,
got
so
that. You
just
buy it again.
drive it.
But I want a Lamborghini Diablo SV convertible in purple
Right.
because they never made it. They made obviously the car
Yeah.
and the thing, but they never made one in purple. But I obviously want midnight purple on that one. And it has to be a Lamborghini Diablo, not the Countach or the new ones or anything like that. The Diablo. A friend's dad had the red one. It used to belong to Mick Jagger.
Really?
Yeah, second hand. He didn't buy it brand new,
Yeah.
which is, I think,
Was he dancing in the street?
That video is so bad.
I know.
It's so bad.
That's the worst one David Bowie and him done, wasn't it?
And I,
They're
I
like, we don't
decided
have any
then,
money, so we just walk around here, do a dance.
This is my dream. We're getting
Yeah,
to your
sorry,
bits.
you're
Wait,
sorry,
wait,
yeah.
no, you literally,
yeah, that'd
you
be
said
the
Mick Jagger.
Yeah. So, so that's what I would have. And that's all I think I'd need.
Don't even need
I
food.
just want to be able to literally go
Don't
like
need
that, do a
food.
donut in it, and then go, whoa, yeah, done that.
So
why
you
not?
do a donut in this heat and just blow out the back tyres then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I've
Buy
got
new
money to
ones.
replace it.
It's fine.
Okay. What about you two then? What do you
Julian,
two
let's
do?
go.
I know you say it's like for me type of thing. The one thing I could have, and that one thing would be giving it to my wife, giving her anything she wanted. Because the joy,
Mate.
No, I know. See, I know
I
it's
get-
sloppy now.
good
But
answer.
when you've had
That's a
that
good answer.
person,
No.
when you've had that
What he's
person
doing is
there
being
who has
clever,
done
he's getting
everything for you
brownie
and helped you
points.
through, that's when I would, because seeing the happiness on my wife's face is enough for me, and I see that every day when I walk in the door.
Okay, that's
Well, that do me.
a nice
Well, that
answer.
just made me look really bad, didn't it?
You're
I
just
should have given mine to my kids.
Anyone can have a car, can't they? Anyone can have a car.
No,
in
he
their life.
already said you weren't allowed to do that.
Yes, so like in this scenario,
He's allowed to
you
give it to his
yourself,
wife,
if
'cause-
that's genuinely he couldn't think of anything selfish to do.
Yeah.
Well, I would say your thing isn't selfish. It's been your dream as a kid since a kid. But I'm saying that's like in this scenario, it's the top of your list. No one can have a go at you because it's your money. Then obviously, if you don't give out money to your family, then that's selfish. You've just bought yourself a car and spent the rest on yourself. so what about?
Oh, so I've got to get a bit to my family.
You don't have to, but like it's just there. Like the scenario is the first thing.
What are you going
pay
to buy
for
yourself?
is what you get yourself, and then after that,
You can do
no
whatever
one
you
else
want.
can have a go at you. Okay, you got
Yeah.
the car for yourself. That's fine.
Think who you
Everything
can make
else
happy.
is- yeah,
Oh yeah, well I've already got that game plan.
yeah.
If honestly, generally, it wasn't it's the one before. You know, the 184.
Yeah, we spoke about it before. You can take all your family on holiday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
And I said,
oh
that's
no, what?
mental.
I take them on holiday. They
Yeah.
go on holiday. I ain't
Yeah,
going with
you're not going
them.
anywhere.
Bye. See you. Oh, where you going? Well, you going to Maldives? I'm going that
I
direction.
guess
No,
so,
you're going to
Charles.
Cornwall. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm going to.
No, I don't know what I'd do selfishly. I definitely would. I don't think I could believe it for a long period of time. I get the people as in, do you spend it? Do you not spend it? I'd be panicking, I think. Because I've blown money before, as in the sense of I messed up so badly.
I don't think you make good decisions if you've got loads of money.
I would definitely go to
Money.
Middle Carter
When
for
you've
a
got loads of
nice
money, I
steak.
think the
I
money
think you
is
make shit
making your
decisions.
decisions
Yeah, you make
for
terrible.
you and everything because you don't care.
No.
You think, but that one thing is what you got to ask yourself is, does money make you happy?
No.
No, I know what I want.
Oh,
I know what I want.
Well, there's,
already
there's
said
like
Sorry, hang on. I
Head of
know
hair.
we're obviously ticking on here. We're nearly at the hour. You need
Daniel
60
hasn't
minutes.
even
of
said
fame.
what he wants.
Hang on.
Go on.
I want to be able to buy whatever gym equipment I want, right?
Oh, my.
And own the warehouse, right? So then, literally, it's like Christmas Day every morning.
Yeah.
What a new machine comes every day.
Yeah.
And is this for you? Is this for you or for others?
I let other people use it once I'm the first one on it. They can queue and wait. Unless you have a group of people. But you know, right, so obviously me and my kids have this thing where like you have a bottle of ketchup. You know when you get to the bottom,
Yeah.
you're nearly finished, but you've got the new one there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've always kind of been like, well, yeah, new one first.
Yeah.
Like even my mum, you know, you got that nice,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, first one has to. And it's kind of I've passed this on to my kids.
Oh, no.
Like my mum goes mad. Other people out. What are you doing?
My mum would make
Why
me
have you
put-
got to be the first one to do
I
that?
have to put water into the end of the tomato ketchup bottle and then use
Oh
it when
yeah,
it
for
rains.
gravy
Yeah,
and
that's
sauces.
it,
Yeah. I do that. Brown
Yeah.
sauce,
Don't
tomato sauce,
leave
everything.
it.
That's why my mum also now. You know when you finish a Marmite jar, we don't leave the bottom bit. Oh yeah, because you have to be the first one. She always keeps them for like making stock stuff.
Yeah,
with.
yeah. It's good stuff.
yeah,
like
no.
that.
Yeah, so
I bet you
everybody
can't-
else can have a go once I've been the first one to go. Even if it's just one rep. Now you can have a go.
I bet you couldn't even guess what I'm going to say. Because he has such a weird version of me. So,
A weird version, because he's not selfish in that respect. So it's going to be something along the lines. And I'll tell you the area. Caversham.
Yeah.
Caversham Heights. Dog sanctuary.
no,
Really?
no.
No, that was a quick no.
No, not at all. I would, I'll get like a holiday place, somewhere in Italy, and that myself can enjoy. But anyone who wants to come out and wants to take some time, blah, 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 they don't have to worry about paying for it. Just get the tickets. You just go out there whenever you want.
Yeah.
And that would be my little thing.
Like a little sort of retreat for people,
yeah.
you know,
Just
to
get
relax.
away. You
I
just go
thought
and
you
get
said
away.
no houses.
I said no.
Hang on,
houses.
I said car.
I said no houses for family. He just.
Oh,
said
it's for
that-
me.
He just said that the house is for himself.
Oh, yeah, it's for
He'll
me.
live with by himself.
Yeah.
And obviously, if people want to come out and have parties,
Then it's free for them to do that when I'm
yeah,
not
they
there.
can do that.
So
So in
I,
that respect,
yeah.
I'd say that I'd
You're
say
letting
it's
that
a
go.
it's just reached
It's on the
part of
cusp.
what-
Did you want to change your thing to add to
No,
it?
stop it.
I
Kai-
just think that
I know
there is
exactly
two
what I
people
would
in
do.
here that would look after people, and there's that one person in who's just thinking of himself.
I'd let somebody else have a go in the Lamborghini after me, after I was the first
Is
one
this
to
before
drive.
or after you blow out the tyres?
Yeah, it's
Oh no, I'll
better,
put
better.
new tyres on for the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
person.
Okay.
Kai, what are you doing?
So I have two things.
Oh.
I have two things. One, I would want to get like a massive warehouse with a racetrack attached to it, and fill it up with like my own office, a place to live, and everything. And within that, I would want a Hall of Fame of all like movie item replicas.
Yeah.
Like, I know it sounds a bit corny, but imagine.
But you haven't seen any of these movies. What are you talking about? We were discussing before. Do you know?
No,
He's
I
not
mean-
seen any movies.
I haven't seen The Matrix. Okay, I haven't seen The Matrix.
Right, end of.
Yeah.
Anyway, stop. No, joking.
What?
Yeah, but like
You have to watch it next time.
I will watch it for next time.
Yeah. We'll talk
But
about
other
spoilers.
Than that, the next
You're not getting paid unless you watch it.
I'll watch it. But with
23
that, and
years
the
old.
reason, and it sort of ties into having the racetrack as well. I would want a replica of every sort of movie car that I can,
Oh.
starting with the Fast and Furious cars.
You can tell when it was brought up.
Yeah, you can definitely check that generation. right?
I'd have Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
There you
you
go.
got the Fast and Furious.
I was just using the streets of Deal to race my Lamborghini back. No, it was a whole warehouse and an office and a house in it.
Have you
Mate.
never heard of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Kai?
Sorry, what? Say that again.
Chitty chitty bang
Ah,
bang.
yes.
Oh, you. Chitty chitty bang bang. Chitty chitty bang bang.
We love you.
Hey,
Oh, Chitty Chitty
Sorry,
Bang.
you.
Oh, sorry.
You've never watched Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
No, I was
No,
joking.
but
I have. I just want to
It's
see.
just
the
old.
reactions.
It's just old. It's an
Dick
old
Van
film.
Dyke.
No, I've seen like the DVD. It's like with the really weird car that flies.
Yeah, and there's a
Right.
child catcher and stuff
But
like
I've
that. It's kind of,
I've never
Mate.
seen it, but I've seen like the
It's
DVD.
it's a weird nostalgic film,
Sweet.
but it's
Yeah.
really
Give me
really
one.
it's really really creepy. We should get on to our words of the day. Yeah, thoughts of the day.
So let's put him on the spot first, because obviously Callum was quite good at this. So we're going to put Kai on the spot first.
I don't know if you come to me last. Cause
Yeah.
'cause yours is gonna be so good.
I believe I've got a good one here.
Go on then.
Ooh.
Sorry, you'll have to like bear with me a sec.
It's okay.
So, when people get hurt, they learn to hate. When people hurt others, they become riddled with guilt. But knowing and understanding someone's pain allows people to be kind. Pain allows people to grow. And how you grow is up to you.
Very deep.
There you go, straight in there, bang. What, Callan? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was literally, Callan, I know you're going to be listening to this. That was literally oosh at you, mate. That's
Yeah.
what that was.
Don't
Still
allow
part of the
back.
family, though. Still part of the family.
Well, he might not be if he's not coming out with some decent quotes like that again. So, which one of you two want to hit the next one?
You go on, then, John.
Wow.
I just got him, John.
Mate,
there,
you've
mate,
been
Jules.
watching these podcasts naked in the bath, so you know
Oh, yeah,
there's
right.
always a bit at the end.
Yeah.
Or you're not getting that far.
No. I told you I'm 52.
Was that the wife tells you to get out of the bath? There's a good boy.
Not at all. No. My word of the day. It's just a word, right? And you can put any meaning into it. But my word of the day, well, it's a couple of words, is laugh. Always have a laugh. You can laugh at yourself as well, and you can laugh at others, but that laugh takes you everywhere.
That's quite a good. That's two good ones.
That's
so far.
true. What are you going with?
I was going to wait for you to go.
You're going to go for me, or
Mine was quite a boring one.
Is it really? So really simple, but just remember hearing about your wife Michelle and stuff like that. Try and remember what's important to you. I think that's really good. I think the people in your life, I think you should just kind of just remember what's important to you, what you need, and stuff. You can't please everyone, so make sure in some sort of formats having your circle kind of a little bit small is relatively a good thing. You have it too big, it's quite hard to make everyone happy. So
totally.
Dun dun dun. So yeah.
Yeah, see, I wanted to do one. Obviously, I've done it before, where when the life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, the new. So obviously, last week, obviously, as we all know. So, when the world seems like it's at you, wait for the sunshine and the rainbow to come out.
There you go. Or I optical
Now,
illusion.
Kai, to beat that, next week's one must be good.
Yeah.
And next week, guys,
To be your one or my one?
your one.
Well, it's well easy to beat Scott, so I don't know what to talk about.
So next week's, we have, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, a lovely lady coming on, talking about women's football, the mental health bit side of it, bits and pieces, how much of it hard it is, obviously her company and bits and pieces, and going forward. So that's going to be a very good one coming forward, and obviously we expect Julian to be watching this naked
In the bath.
in the bath.
We'll always give him a shout
So
out for that.
just out of curiosity, just before we end this, where do you shop?
Where do I shop?
Yep.
Asda. Low early.
Asda.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's good.
low
Asda.
early because my
Isn't
wife.
Iceland's near that?
No, but
No.
my wife has a NHS card because
Yes.
she works in the NHS. So you get 10% discount. So you might as well use it while you can.
Of course.
Everything go up. But I still shop at Aldi as well.
There we go. I'm a co-op
you
man.
just-
Co-op.
Yeah, co-op. Co-op's very good. Where we used to live, we had
So
a big
good.
co-op. Used to always get a weekly shop from co-op. And you get some really good deals.
Great deals. Love it.
Go in when the yellow stickers are out.
Can I just say a massive well done for you for being a great guest and being so open and honest.
Yeah,
That was
thank you
really,
very
really
much.
Incredible.
No, thanks you guys thanks for inviting me. I've really enjoyed it actually. It's been really good. And actually, like I say, talking about things and you talk about it with other people who don't know you and things like that, it's nice. You know, you feel better afterwards and you get it out there. So I want to thank you both.
Thank you very
Isn't
much.
there a
Thank you very
saying
much.
about that? If you can write your problem down, it's a problem halved. Is that right? So there's a saying. Something like that.
A problem shared.
Problem shared.
It's a
That's
problem
the word.
halved.
Problem
Yeah.
halved.
And we shared it.
Also, thank you very much, Kai, for making sure that we didn't go over time. Oh, no, we're on overtime.
Way over time, mate. What is going on? It's 109. I told you he's only
Mate,
getting 38 minutes.
He
We're at
smashed it, there. He
109.
smashed it, right. But yeah, thank you. Well done for your first show producing the show and stuff like that. Episode 22. We'll be back next week for episode 23. I'll be there. We've got amazing guests coming up, some great things coming up over the summer as well. So stay tuned. And if you're subscribing, awesome, but tell your friend too as well. Just right now. Just get them to just take their phone. Done. See you next time.
See you next time, guys.
Bye.